Welcome, parents. If you've ever felt completely lost in the middle of your child's emotional storm, I want you to know you are so not alone. Today, we're going to look at a whole new way to understand these moments, a way to get out of survival mode and actually become the guide your child needs. Let's just start right here and acknowledge this feeling. That sense of powerlessness, the feeling of being judged out in public, it is just exhausting. And it's real. It is totally okay to feel that way. But what if we could look at it through a different lens?
This one question, this simple shift in perspective, it can change absolutely everything. It really is the key that unlocks a much more compassionate and, frankly, a much more effective way to respond. Okay, so let's dive right in.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to start with a distinction that is it's a total game changer. Then we'll get into the practical stuff, how to respond in the heat of the moment, what to do after it's all over, and maybe most importantly, how to prevent the storm from gathering in the first place, all while making sure you're taking care of you in the process. Okay, first things first. We absolutely have to understand the why behind the storm. Once we get that, we can completely change how we navigate it. So let's think about a tantrum. A tantrum is basically strategic. Now, it's immature for sure, but there's a goal. If I scream, maybe I'll get the toy. The child, on some level, still has a little bit of control over their actions.
A meltdown, though. A meltdown is a whole different animal. It's not a choice, it's a neurological fuse blowing. The brain is so completely overwhelmed that it just flips into a fight-or-flight response. At this point, the child has zero control. They are just along for the ride.
I love this way of picturing it. During a meltdown, that logical, reasonable upstairs brain has basically shut down. It's gone offline. And all that's left is the primitive, reactive, downstairs brain running on pure survival instinct. This chart just lays it out all so perfectly. When you look at those columns, especially for motivation and control, the difference is just night and day, isn't it? A tantrum is really a behavioral issue, but a meltdown, that's a neurological event. And knowing that, well, it changes every single thing about how we should show up for our kids.
So, armed with this new understanding, our whole response has to shift. Our job title changes, really. We stop being the disciplinarian and we become a co-regulator. We are the calm presence that helps our child's overwhelmed nervous system find its way back to safety.
And this means our goal in the moment is totally different. During a meltdown, your one and only job is to de-escalate. That's it. But during a tantrum, your job is to calmly hold a boundary. Trying to hold a boundary during a meltdown is like trying to reason with a hurricane. It's not going to work.
Right. So when that meltdown hits, your new mantra is reduce. Reduce the noise, reduce the lights, reduce your words. You're trying to turn down all the input hitting a brain that's already completely overloaded. Your quiet, calm presence is honestly the most powerful tool you have.
Now, for a tantrum, your mantra is consistency. Here, your calm, steady presence is teaching a lesson. This strategy isn't going to work to get what you want. It's so important to acknowledge their feeling, I see you're really upset, but you hold the line. And that little trick of redirecting to a simple task, it can be magic for shifting their energy.
Okay, the storm is over. Everybody's exhausted, and it's so tempting to just walk away and forget it ever happened, right? But this part, right here, this is where the real gold is. This is where learning and connection happen.
This isn't about punishment. It's not a lecture. Think of it more like you're a flight crew debriefing after some rough turbulence. You're both on the same team, just trying to figure out what happens so you can fly a little smoother next time. The key word here is collaboratively, no accusations.
And this emotion ladder is just a fantastic tool for this. You can literally sit down together when everyone's calm and ask, hey, where do you think you were on the ladder when you started to feel like throwing the toy? It gives them a visual language for their feelings, and it helps them start to recognize when they're at a 3 or 4 long before they ever get to a 10.
Now let's talk about prevention, because wouldn't it be nice to have fewer storms to begin with? A lot of outbursts get triggered when a child's nervous system feels a threat to their autonomy, and we can actually change that just by changing the way we talk.
Okay, just look at this shift. It is so powerful. A command like clean up can feel like a threat and immediately trigger a defensive response, but an observation, wow, I notice a lot of toys on the floor, that invites cooperation. It just states a fact, and it gives their brain a little space to process and choose to participate. And it's important to realize this isn't about being permissive or letting kids run the show. It's about being smart.
Each one of these techniques meets a core need for a child with ADHD, that deep, deep need for a sense of autonomy and control in their own world.
So it's not just about language. The very rhythm and structure of your day can be one of the most powerful preventative tools you have in your toolkit.
Every single one of these strategies works by basically lowering the cognitive load on your child. A predictable world just takes less brain power to navigate, and that leaves more of that precious energy available for the really hard work, like managing big emotions.
And finally, we have to talk about you, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. You simply cannot be a calm anchor for your child if your own nervous system is screaming, "Mayday." These aren't little luxuries. These are essential in-the-moment resets. They are first aid for your nervous system to keep your upstairs brain from getting hijacked by your child's chaos. And that mantra, "This is a brain thing, not a bad thing," oh, that is so powerful. It can instantly shift you from judgment into compassion.
And after the storm passes, you have to recharge. I'm telling you, it's not selfish, it is essential. A regulated parent is the single greatest gift you can give to a child who struggles with regulation. And please, please burn this into your mind. Your child's meltdown is not a report card on your parenting. It's a symptom of their neurology.
So if you take anything away today, let it be this: you are not failing. By understanding the science, by shifting your response, and by fiercely protecting your own calm, you transform. You go from feeling powerless to becoming the steady, guiding light your child desperately needs to find their way back to shore. You are their lighthouse.
Like and subscribe for more updates. Write in the comments if you have any topic ideas. Thank you for watching.